Hey, what's happening, Spider friends? Welcome back to Marvel's Spider-Man, and we're rocking the 2099 suit because
Woohoo!
I love Miguel O'Hara. He's fun. So today we're
2099.
That's right. Today we are going to do the last of the side quests for Spider-Man. Which
I want to sing with the spider choir.
What's Spider Choir?
As soon as you start web-slinging, they say, "Oh," like they're singing. In the background.
That's Spider Choir.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you on about? What's going on? You're talking about those people. Yeah. I get you now.
All right, continue. What are we doing today, Luke?
Today's the last side quest that we are doing in Spider-Man, which is the David quest.
Oh.
Basically where we have to go and raid people's bunkers and find the hidden supplies that have been taken for that country. Something like that. I don't know. And then after that, all we have left is some suit showcase videos, the anime Spider-Man and Spider-Verse.
Cool.
And I'm pretty sure we've done everything else. And then I'll have to live stream this on my O1 channel because I did the entire game and I did the DLC, so I need to do the last DLC and just be done with it. And then hope and pray Batman comes out in 2019, like the rumors suggest, because that channel desperately needs a Batman game.
Are the legends true?
I don't know.
Yeah, so, I was just telling Luke, one thing I feel so bad about this game is I feel like somebody went through painstakingly and put every tiny detail of New York City in here, just so some Yahoo could swing around.
Nope, it's all game engine. Like, game engines are so complex now that, like, video games are just...
I feel like it's so
they're their own piece of art now.
Like, I don't know, like, you're sure that...
Down we go!
Hi, David. Just found another Hammerhead hideout.
Please, be careful.
I will. So, what happens when we get all the caches? Put some stamps on them and celebrate at Eddie's Pizza?
Eddie's, yes. I will miss that place.
He's not going out of business, is he? Please tell me he's not.
No. It's just... it's nothing. And do not worry about shipping. I will take care of it when the time comes.
Eddie's is gonna close? Wait, what? No. I think he means he's gonna miss it because he has to go back to his country. They don't have good pizza where he's from.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, what I was saying before is I don't know, I thought people painstakingly did every tiny detail of everything, and I just feel so terrible. Like, I feel like that's, like, too much work, like, for just a game.
Well, here's the difference. When we were kids, the Legend of Zelda team, the NES, consisted of, like, I believe it was a team of 4 or 5 people. A music person, an artist, a coder, a tester, and, like, a sound person. And that was pretty much it. Games have become, like, one of the biggest mediums in the world. So this game probably had about, like, 250, maybe 400 people working on it.
Wow.
And today's video games, a lot of them use, like, an Unreal or a... I don't even remember all the name of the different engines. Unity is an engine that I know that a lot of indie developers use, and it does a brunt of all the work, so they're able to make their own game.
Well, so how do they make New York City, though? Do they scan it, or...?
Don't know. I've never seen really a making of this, but the game...
I would like to watch that.
The game was only in development about 3.5, maybe 4 years.
How could they make every detail of New York City and so, like...
It's not
really
100% accurate.
But they have so many of the buildings, and it's like, it looks and feels like New York City, and it has, like, all these little details on every building.
The New York that you see in this, Sweetheart, is about probably 85% accurate to the real New York City.
But they put so many details just so you can just swing around and miss half of it anyway. It feels like so much work for nothing, like, especially because the game lasts only a certain amount of time, and then you're done with it and you just throw it away in your pile of games, and
well, that's
it feels sad.
What today's games are like, though. Very few games I can think of that have the longevity for people to come back and play them. Spider-Man is already seeing, like, a massive drop-off of people. Even though a lot of people just got it for Christmas, you'll see a resurgence of people having some renewed interest in playing it, but by March, this game will be dead.
I just don't like that about games. They have more detail and people play them less amount of time. Like, how many people did you say basically worked on Legend of Zelda, or...
Back in the day, about 10 people maybe.
Wow.
The very first one.
But they must have... that must have taken a ton of time, too.
I can't hear David, sweetie.
Sorry.
Go on. No, seriously, Hammerhead's guys aren't great conversationalists.
Back home, I was a math teacher. I wanted to open my students' eyes to the possibilities beyond our village. Even when the rebel uprising began, and people started leaving the village, my students still came to school. And yet, if I had known what was to come, maybe I would have acted differently. It happened in the morning, right as school began. There were 9 of them, all with automatic rifles. They asked for names, but I would not give any. My patience wore out. They raised their rifles to shoot me, and that's when she came in.
Who?
Silver Sable. She took out the whole group. She saved me and the children, and that is why I owe her my life.
Wow. You're a heartless mercenary.
Wow.
Sometimes almost likable.
Sometimes.
Sometimes she's almost likable. Okay. See, that was cool backstory, right? I thought that was going to turn, like, M-rated. Like, they were going to open fire on the kids.
Yeah, I thought she was going to be with the bad guys, so... Yeah, sorry about that.
No, it's fine.
But yeah, no, I
Whoa.
can't believe, like, that would have taken... So basically, like, the old games that we knew were basically made the same way indie people make games today.
Kind of.
They work
I mean, people had
well.
publishers back then, and Super Nintendo and N64 games got more complex. Like, Smash Brothers had a huge amount of people that work on it.
I just hope that the computer did help these people make this, because even with... I just don't understand how they can afford hiring 250 people for one game. Like, how, if the game sells the same amount as it did back in the day, with 10 people, I don't know.
Oh, it doesn't. The game prices are back up to what they were when cartridges originally released. Games are... It was only during the N64 and the PlayStation and PS2 that game prices went down a little bit. Like, they started doing... It was like $39 or $49.99 a game. When I was a kid, it was $70. And that's about what it costs now to do video games. So even though video games are, we'll say, more popular and a little bit more mainstream, like they're, you know, bigger and just about every household has like at least one console, whereas when we were kids it was very rare that you could have, we'll say, a group of like 10 or 15 houses in your neighborhood. Out of those houses, maybe 3 kids will have either a Super Nintendo, a Genesis, or an NES.
Yeah.
So, you know. And if the kids didn't have an NES or Super Nintendo or Genesis, then those children might have had a Game Boy.
Well, I remember back when we were kids, a lot of people would sell game consoles at garage sales, and that's how you would get a game console. Like, several generations after it already came out, then you would get it, or whatever.
Yep, because older sibling would go to college or something, and they would grow out of gaming because they thought it was going to be a fad. And then by the time I went to college, I realized gaming is not just gonna... I never stopped playing, though. I was always following every system that came out. And I did my best even when I was college. There was a rule that I wasn't allowed to bring my game system. It was in their campus rules or whatever.
Yeah.
Yet they did have an N64 in the break room. Like,
yeah,
for...
how hypocritical.
I know, it was. But they wanted people to focus on their studies and stuff like that. But a lot of people I knew had Game Boy Advances just like me. And that... 2001 was it? 2001, 2002? I had Golden Sun on the Game Boy Advance with me.
Yeah.
And I had to leave my Smash Brothers Melee game behind, which was rough. It was the hardest thing I had to do.
I don't understand, like, people make such a big difference between handheld and console gaming, because it's the same thing. It's really a game no matter what. Like, it's just, you know, whether you put it in your hand and bring it with you or you play it in your living room, it's still a game.
It was easier to hide. I think a lot of us broke that rule because, you know.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, I mean,
but here's the
can't...
thing, they couldn't stop people from playing computer games. That's the thing I don't understand. They were having like Quake and Warcraft 3 tournaments and stuff like that all the time on LAN parties.
Yeah.
And, you know, oh, it's nut bunnies. Alright, that's it.
You sound angry.
I am angry.
You sound angry, Luke.
I am. I'm not a fan of these Sable wannabe mafia goons. I don't know. I feel like for this part of the game, they just made these guys harder just for the sake of DLC. You know, it's not like they add anything really new to the table. They're just kind of a hindrance.
Yeah. Well, I feel like everyone in, like, my customers in my grocery store, anyone, like, basically 40s or 50s and over, like, they don't see gaming as, like, a real thing, but, like, anyone in their 30s...
Oh, we're still going on about this? Okay.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. I won't...
No, I've finished your thought. I want to hear about this.
Just anyone in their 30s, it's like, they like, couples or even parents who are in their 30s or younger, or even early 40s, like, they see, like, they know all the game characters, and they have PlayStation and everything. But everyone over it, like, if I talk to any older people or something, like, about how my husband's a game journalist, they just look at, they give me such a look, like, as if, like, gaming is, like, not a good for your soul or eyes or brain or something.
It's actually very good for your brain and stuff like that. Final wave! Finally.
Yeah.
Oh, this has been a long time coming.
So, like, BAM! Like you were saying, when it first came out, people didn't think it was going to be a real thing.
No, well, I mean, you have to remember that gaming technically was around in the 70s with, like, Pong and things like that, and gaming was... the only way you could do it was going to, like, an arcade in the 80s, and then when the home consoles came, with Atari and stuff like that, and then later the NES in 85, everything changed, but a lot of people thought that was just going to be for the 80s kids, or, you know, kids that were kind of, when their brothers and sisters were playing the NES when it came out when they were teenagers, and they were going to college by the time the Super Nintendo came out, and those kids were becoming high school kids. Nobody was really expecting it to last 10 years, and then 15, and then 20, and it's just gone bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yep.
Where, I mean, most people are able to remember the birth of their children based on when a game system came out.
Oh my gosh.
That's how big that video games is ingrained in our culture now. And it's always been like that in Japan, but it's, you know, just as much here in the Western world now, too, which is cool.
It is cool. I like it.
I mean, I know that when we got married, the system that came out was the Wii. Like, it was like 3 or 4 months after we got married is when the Wii came out. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And that was our first console as a married couple, and since then, you know, we've gotten pretty much every system except for we don't really have a lot of love for Xbox. Every time we get an Xbox, it just kind of sits there. I'm sorry, Microsoft.
Because I don't like the menu screen.
I don't like the menu, and I don't like the controller.
I also don't like the controller. It's weird.
I mean, I've thought about, okay, we'll just hook it up so we can watch, like, Netflix and stuff like that, but we use our PS4 for everything, and once the Switch will finally get Netflix and Crunchyroll, it's like, I can't really see myself using the PS4 a lot next year.
I don't like using a controller where I can hear the buttons clicking every time I push a button. Mm-hmm. It's annoying.
Later, Baldy. Oh my gosh.
Anyway, sorry for asking you so many things. I'll just keep watching you play this. So.
I think we did it.
Awesome.
Yep, slow-mo means mission accomplished.
Okay. Those humanitarian supplies should be around here.
I think I sweated a little bit.
Well, you were wearing a Mario sweatshirt. Or sweater.
Time to find that stash of humanitarian aid.
Alright, so let's find that humanitarian aid stuff. Let's see.
It's just so unrealistic to me that Peter Parker would be so consumed with, like, doing all this stuff for charity and stuff when 90% of people can't even really...
What charity? What do you mean?
He just is talking about humanitarian aid and all this stuff.
Well, the humanitarian aid, I mean, I don't see that as charity. That's like the Red Cross. That's like giving supplies to people who are in war-torn countries that need help. I've supported and donated to organizations similar to that.
Yeah, but not when you're, like, starving without even a job to make your rent. Like, he's barely even getting like, where is he getting his money? Like, Where's he buying food every day?
I'm pretty sure he lives with MJ right now, so she's doing everything.
She's buying him food, and then he's like using all his money to give to other people, like when he should be like getting a job. I don't know. It's just
well,
weird.
I mean, he wants to be a cook now or do
Humanitarian
something
supplies
different.
should be around here somewhere.
I'm actually surprised that they didn't go the route where Peter Parker was going to become a science teacher, because the fact that he's with MJ again, I've just been like in the back of my mind being like, okay, cool. MJ and Peter are going to get married, they're going to flash forward, and then bam, Mayday Parker's going to come, and then, you know, if they continue with this franchise in 10 years, then after, you know, Peter's retired and Miles has taken over, like, kind of the Dick Grayson / Nightwing Robin role, and is Spider-Man for a while, like the Spider-Man, not Arachnakid. Then you have Mayday take over, and you got, like, a whole series of video games, you know?
Yeah.
It's kind of cool,
Where are
right?
the supplies?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, David. Found a bunch more supplies here. I'll send you the location.
You are doing a great thing. Each supply cache could save hundreds of Simkarian lives.
Why Simcaria, if you don't mind me asking?
I merely wish to help the children of Simcaria, as I once failed to help those who relied on me most. Thank you again for finding those supplies. I will come by to get them soon.
Huh. Sounds like David's carrying around a little guilt. Like most of us, I guess.
Alright, so that base is done. That just leaves one more, because remember, we actually did one during the final DLC. Like, we were searching for stuff, we ran into a base, and then was like, okay. So there's only 3 bases. And this is the final one.
All your base belong to us.
Ah, I see what you did there. Oh, and before I forget, people watching Spider-Man, if you like superheroes, we are currently working on Aquaman. We have seen the movie now, so we'll do our best not to spoil stuff, but there's really not a lot to talk about while playing Aquaman. You punch stuff, you swim. They didn't really put a lot of thought into it, but we have recorded the 4th episode, so you can look forward to Aquaman later today.
Yay!
And we're really happy to get back to that series. Episodes are a little bit shorter because Aquaman is a really simplified game. You beat up the bad guys, you save the citizens, and then the level ends after 10 minutes or so. And they have like 20 levels all condensed and pretty small, so we can usually do like 3 or 4 levels an episode. So it's not going to be a lengthy series, but I'm starting to have fun with the game.
Hi, David. I think I found the last hideout.
Great work.
So, I was thinking, maybe we should store the caches at a local police precinct, just for safekeeping.
I would prefer to safeguard them myself.
I get the sense you're not telling me something.
I had a work visa with Sable International. It became invalid when I quit. Even an ID check right now could mean immediate deportation. I merely wish to finish this one task, and then I will go.
Maybe I could help you with the whole immigration thing.
Do not worry for me. This was my choice, and I have no regrets.
Oh, so the reason... Okay, so he's not a bad guy, technically. He's an illegal immigrant. So, if the police come and help him out, he could get in big trouble because he's not supposed to be here. His visa's expired.
Oh.
It's less painful this
I mean, that could just be an excuse, but I kind of like that. That makes sense.
I feel like he's lying.
I don't know. I don't remember this guy as a Marvel villain, though. I mean, he might be. I've asked people.
It just feels really shady, like, oh, thanks for getting those supplies. I'm just gonna watch them myself. It's like, what? I thought we were giving them to somebody else. I'm so confused. Like,
But I mean,
he's
it
like,
kind
I'm gonna
of
watch
coincides
them.
with what he said before, like, oh, I'm gonna miss Eddie's, the pizza place, because he's not gonna be here. He's gonna leave after Spider-Man completes his mission. He'll go back to his country.
Yeah, it does. I mean, he could be telling the truth. I mean, most people... That would be scary. I always wonder what it would be like. Like, I always think about working in another country, like in an Asian country or something, but what if my visa expired when I was there? Like, oh my gosh, that would be so scary. Because then you couldn't really get another one while you're there, because you... Yeah, it's so... yeah, he could be telling the truth, but...
Visas actually last a pretty long time, and especially if you go over with a work visa, like if you have your own business and you're living over there, it's a lot easier than just like working for a company and then getting fired. you know. But I mean, you do have to know whatever country you're going to. You need to know about the culture and the language so that you don't do anything to break their laws or offend people that could lead to something very disastrous for you, more than just embarrassing people.
Well, yeah, I mean, you could get put in jail or something.
Well, bam.
Hi, MJ. Can I ask a huge favor?
Sure, what's up?
Remember that story you did on the shortage of teachers in the city? Well, I know someone who might be a good fit. If he had a visa.
I think some of the supers are offering H-1Bs based on credentials. Send me his info and I'll call around.
Aw, Spider-Man has a heart of gold.
He's trying to help this guy get a visa.
Yeah, he's trying to get him a job, too. He's trying to get him a teacher position. It's amazing.
That's what I'm talking about before, is that it's unrealistic. Most people are more concerned with their own lives.
Yeah,
like, they don't have time for other people.
Peter's not that way, and you know Bruce does the same thing. Bruce went out of his way to help a lot of people that he's interacted with.
Yeah, but he's a billionaire. I mean, he actually has time to do that. Like, Peter...
He doesn't have time. He's patrolling the city half the night.
Then why are they taking so much time to help other people? Most people...
I always thought Batman does it out of guilt, especially when he beat up that dad in front of that little kid and scarred him for life.
I'm saying it's very nice, but like I always want to help people, but I don't have that kind of time. Like nobody does. Never mind. I just feel like it's so unrealistic.
I've gotten somebody a job before who was looking
I know
for one.
you do. You always do that stuff.
Later, big guy. Yeah, there are too many. Wave 4. Let's do this.
Every time I heard that. Wait,
Yeah, but I mean...
Uh-oh.
Never mind.
Yes, Amber, they're trying to make him look like he's, you know, super nice guy.
You've done stuff, like, when you have time, but it's like, he does it like a million things a second. Like, oh, I'm gonna work at the soup kitchen, and then after that, I'm gonna,
he's
give half my paycheck to whatever.
Okay.
It's just unrealistic.
It's a comic book, and also you have to remember that Aunt May was the, like, big cheese at, like, that place where he could have worked.
That's right.
So, I mean, it all kind of just circled around him. Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's true.
And also, MJ has connections. He can easily multitask with his spider powers to call people.
If I was MJ, though, I'd be like, I have a paper to write. I don't have time to get this guy a job. Like, I don't know. That's why MJ's nicer than me.
Oh, nuts!
Sorry.
Okay, wave 5, let's do this again. I want to punch all you people.
Fine. I guess these comic book characters are just making me feel bad about myself. They're not real! These people are not real!
Ouch! Well, they pack a punch. Well, I mean, not these guys. I mean, I just want to know... I
feel like they're making them better than Mother Teresa. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
One thing that I find weird about this game is all these characters have, like, this rod thing that's all orange and electric-y. Like, why did they think that this mini lightsaber would be a good weapon to use against somebody? I mean, it doesn't look very practical, you know?
Oh yeah, the mini lightsaber?
Yeah, like, it's a glow-in-the-dark billy club. It looks like they're coming from a rave or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just... It kind of... I mean, it definitely gives the players a heads up that, okay, you know, I need to make sure I uppercut this guy. And so you get used to a pattern for how to attack people.
I feel like maybe the people like Stan and other people wrote comic books to try to make people like knights. Like they're heroes. They're better than the rest of us. There's something to look up to. Like, oh, I don't know, it's just... It's unrealistic. They're unrealistically, like, helpful. Because that's what we're supposed to be or something, someday.
I mean, it's good to help people when you can, but I mean...
Yeah.
Let's see.
I'm just saying, like, wouldn't he have other things to do? Like laundry...
Fight away!
Tidy up his house, pay the water bill.
No, we already know that Peter doesn't pay his bills from the opening of the game. Now, him living with MJ now, probably not a problem anymore. I don't know if he inherited Aunt May's house, or you don't know anything. you know, he's just kind of like, right now, it appears that he's homeless Spider-Man, just kind of, you know, living out in the city and sponging off people, you know.
So he's Millennial Man.
More or less, yeah.
Millennial Spider-Man.
Kind of like what they're doing to Dick Grayson in the comics right now. I'm sorry, Rick Grayson. I'm so angry that they have essentially turned Dick Grayson into Chris O'Donnell Robin from Batman Forever. Complete with leather jacket, like shaved head, and attitude. And just,
No, the only reason I'm saying is just when I work at the grocery store, even the nicest people, like, if you ask them for donations too much, they get really upset because they're like, well, I only have $20 for the week, you know, to feed my 5 kids, and they're just like, I really can't do this, and it's just like, I just feel like most people don't have the time and energy to be, you know, most people have to worry about themselves.
You don't
know?
really, how I've learned to deal with it, because I don't buy coffee every day and all this other stuff. When I go to the store, I more than have enough to do like a little donation or something.
Yeah, I know. I try to also, but a lot of people, I'm just saying most people get very annoyed.
That's because they're not thinking about the big picture. Some of them are selfish.
So what Spider-Man is saying is you should, even if you don't have any money, you should try to help other people.
There are lots of ways that you can help, you know, people out. Like, if you don't use clothes that you have like lying around and you're never going to wear them again and they're still in good condition, you can give those away to like a clothing drop-off place.
Yeah.
You know, there's someone who could be going through a horrible thing right now. They could have lost their house, they could have lost their job, and they, you know, just that little incentive of picking up something nice when they go to one of these places, it makes people feel good. Mm-hmm. It makes them feel like there's hope.
Yeah.
That's why I liked working at like shelters and things like that.
They actually
back in the
have
day.
a really good shelter around here.
I can't anymore.
That's kind of why I wanted to learn to cook, because I wanted to volunteer there, but they said you had to know how to cook, so I didn't. Maybe at some point I can, but yeah. That's very nice. Well, I guess Spider-Man is striking a nerve in me, like, and maybe I got triggered in a good way.
A good trigger. I like that. Alright, so where are these supplies hanging out? Not here.
Yeah, maybe he's inspiring me to be more.
Be greater, Amber?
Be a hero.
Like the slogan? Be greater. Okay, so that's where the supplies are.
Be the cache of humanitarian aid.
Oh, come on! Really? More? Why more? Yeah, you picked a bad day to come out of your sleep pod. Oh.
Never touches the ground.
And you're done. Thanks for flying, Air Spidey. Later, jerkface. You're still around? Inconceivable! Stay down there, Mr. Roboto.
David, the final supply caches are secure.
Thank you. I will take them all to the Simkarian embassy and make sure the aid is delivered.
Let me know if there's anything else I can do to help.
I will. And thank you once more, Spider-Man.
He is such
That's
a
it.
nice guy.
Hope MJ can pull some strings for him.
Alright, so actually, if you guys didn't know this, the actor playing David, I looked into it, it is Black Panther.
What? What do you mean? From the
MCU Black Panther.
cinematic universe?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. There's a lot of celebrity, like, actors in this game that play either villains or little bit parts.
Well, so...
He has a great voice.
Yeah, so just so nobody gets also charity... Ah!
Hey, David, what's up?
Spider-Man, I have the supply caches and I'm on my way to the embassy, but I think I am being followed.
Where are you?
I am not sure. I am...
David! David! Hold on, I'm on my way.
Black Panther,
Hammerhead's
what
man knew
happened to
David would be
you?
alone and vulnerable. I should have seen this coming. Hang in there, David.
Spidey's just having a rough day.
That guy's got a cool voice. I just have... Well, it doesn't matter.
You want to keep it short because I'm almost there.
I just wanted to say that people shouldn't worry if they can't do a lot, though. People should do the best they can.
Yep, that's all you can do.
That's all you can do. That's all I have to say about that.
Alright, so almost there. I'm just itching to get this DLC done so I can move on to another game. Because we've done almost 80 episodes of this game, and I'm just getting kind of burned out with Spidey. Gotta move over to the next project before 2019.
There's David. He's in trouble. Gotta move.
David! Find cover, man. This isn't XCOM. You're not invincible. Look, even your attackers
Hi, David.
cover.
You look like you could use a little help.
Spiderman. I like how he says his name. Sounds cool.
It does sound cool, doesn't it? Alright,
So-
you guys are done.
So the actor who played Black Panther is actually voice acting that guy. That's.
Oh! Oh!
I'm pretty sure you just got run over.
We're glitching through the car, too. That was fun.
You stood up while the car was still.
I'm just glad that wasn't a game-breaking glitch, or we'd be in serious trouble. Oh, that looked like it hurt. Except, it looked like that guy withstood that kick because of the way the camera panned. I see you. I see what you're trying to do here. Done.
I don't know why, Luke. This makes me. Well, I could never live in New York City, I don't think, because the rent would be ridiculous. But, like, near it would be cool.
There are a couple places where you can actually get a similar condo to what we have here in Pennsylvania, but you'd be paying about
4 times
$2,600.
as much?
About 26.
Oh.
And I mean, you would also have to get like a annual train thing because I mean, you don't really want to be driving your car around everywhere. So
Well, where would you park our giant Jeep then?
you'd have to park it on the street, or
Oh.
I don't know.
Ugh, that wouldn't be good.
I forgot that. I'm pretty sure that our friends like Danny and Evelyn, they have to park on the street.
Wow.
I mean, they live in a house similar to what, my grandparents had for 60 years or whatever.
But do they have anything for sale, like to buy in New York City, or they just rent everything?
Not that we can afford it.
Oh, really?
No way.
Everybody rents then, basically.
Well, I mean, yes and no. There are people that own like a...
Billionaires own stuff.
No. You have to remember that a lot of properties have been in like families' hands for a long time.
Oh, okay.
You okay?
Think so. Thank God for this Sable armor.
So, what's next?
Deliver the caches to the Simkarian embassy. Thanks to you, the Simkarians will finally get the aid they need.
Just happy I could help. But I meant, what's next for you?
Well, a few minutes ago I received a call from a school in Midtown. They offered me a visa if I accepted a teaching position. I don't suppose you had something to do with that.
Good things happen to good people.
I can't thank you enough. I will try every day to help my students achieve their dreams as you have helped me achieve mine.
Actually, I should be the one thanking you.
For what?
For reminding me why I'll always love this city.
Oh, the feels!
Whoa, I just had a tingle there. What is going on?
Well,
Is it me? Or is the world a little brighter right now?
Are you talking about in real life or just the game?
I'm
Because
just gonna bask in this good feeling for at least the next few seconds.
it just sounded like you got in an
Or until
accident.
something else bad happens. I bet David's gonna be one of those cool teachers whose classes are packed.
what if he's sitting there talking about how great he feels?
Bam!
And at the same time, that guy's like, Spider-Man, help! Spider-Man's smiling through the city, like, just web-slinging, going, what a great day! And the guy's like, please.
Okay, that's a bit too dark. And just thinking about the idea of, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do with you?
I don't know. What are you gonna do
You
with
know,
me?
all that's missing now is JJ to pop up and ruin everybody. Oh, never mind.
This is it, folks. This is the big one.
Oh, is it now?
I finally have proof. For years, I have asked my dear listeners to send in photographic evidence to prove, once and for all, that Spider-Man is directly linked to the very criminals who plague our city. And finally, one brave anonymous caller has delivered the goods. We have clear photos of Spider-Man standing in the immediate vicinity of caches of humanitarian aid. Aid that was intended for Centaria. And our heroic caller assures me that these very humanitarian caches are being sold on the black market. If I've learned one thing in my years as a world-renowned reporter, it's this. Photos don't lie. Spider-Man has been caught red-handed. No pun intended, puns are for whips. So what do we do about it, you ask? We wait. We wait for the police to finally wake up and arrest this mass lunatic. At long last, this city is going to finally see that Jameson has been right about Spider-Man this entire time. Not only is he a thief, he's actually stealing vital food and medicine from innocent civilians who are trapped in a war zone.
I knew it!
Women and children struggling to survive,
Dare
hiding
he?
each day from a hail of mortars and bullets. Meanwhile, Spider-Man is stealing the very aid that might keep them alive. This is a new low, people. Even I could never have suspected Spider-Man of something this despicable. All we can do now as a city is to sit back and quietly reflect on just how right J. Jonah Jameson really was. Yet again.
Wait, what? Oh, whatever, sourpuss. All right, so anyway, guys and gals, that is gonna do it for
I can't believe
the
you, Spider-Man.
David Cash's DLC, the humanitarian aid, whatever.
Yay.
Like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you guys with the Spider Suit showcases for Anime Spider-Man and, of course, the Into the Spider-Verse.
Woohoo!
And check out Aquaman later today. God bless and happy gaming.